What's going on, world? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? My name is Tully. What's good, world? I'm here with my brother
Isaiah.
And my brother
PJ.
Hey, we here, man. We here. We talking. How y'all feeling, bros?
I'm chilling, man.
Y'all good? Y'all feeling good? Y'all healthy?
Yeah, I'm healthy.
Lord willing.
Lord willing. All right. Yo, I just tried to go Instagram live and that shit fucked up. I think we back on. Oh yeah, all right. True there. What up, True? What's good, God? But yeah, man, what we talk about today, fellas?
What everybody's talking about today.
COVID-19.
What everybody's been talking about the last few weeks. COVID-19. This is a new reality for everybody, for the whole world. A global pandemic. Doesn't that sound crazy to even say?
Yo, it's a little nerve-wracking. Honestly, I think y'all are making like everybody like more nervous. I feel like PJ has been like, yo, you went where? You walked outside?
Yeah.
You touched the car?
And we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that because I think we're all in agreement now that this is serious.
Yes.
Nah, it's definitely serious. That's a fact.
Yes.
And because it's so serious, the best way to get rid of it is to listen to what experts are saying. So I'm just saying what the experts are saying. I don't know why y'all aren't taking it seriously, but we're gonna get into that.
I've been listening to the experts.
Nah, I'm taking it seriously.
I'm taking it very serious. Taking it very serious.
You don't think niggas take it seriously?
Oh no, I didn't say nothing.
Oh, all right.
Some people take it seriously, some people don't. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, run down the information a little bit. Like, what are experts saying?
Well, I mean, so first of all, it's obviously a highly contagious disease going around, and it's being spread by a coronavirus. And a coronavirus is like a family of viruses that cause like respiratory issues. I think there's also like gastrointestinal issues that happen. They're primarily in animals, but they're like 7 or 8, I believe, that are like contagious, like humans can catch it.
Yeah.
And so the coronavirus, COVID-19, the one that's going on right now, is a novel virus, and it started in a market in Wuhan, China.
Yeah, Wuhan, China. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's highly contagious. And it's crazy. So with all the uncertainty around COVID-19, what's the best thing that we can do to protect ourselves from it?
Main things: wash your hands frequently. If you if you are touching things, make sure you don't touch like your eyes, your nose, your mouth. You know what I mean? Social distancing. So we're supposed to be 6 feet away. Mm-hmm. The way these mics are set up. But, you know
way y'all mics are set up. I'm good over here, brothers. I'm good over here, brothers.
I mean,
I don't think it's that bad.
You're pretty adjacent.
Well, lean back. What are you
you always
lean back.
You usually had the shit back to your face.
And last time I did that, somebody damn near knocked the whole stand on the floor.
No, you
stop
almost
touching it,
all I'm saying is if you lean back, we'd have 6 feet.
All right. So do you want me to
pull
lean
back
back
a little bit, but not that right.
Yeah, I want you to lean back.
All right. Like, is this safe? Everybody?
Then back up.
Yeah.
Let your back touch the cushion.
Well, you ain't gotta go all the way. That's good.
Yo.
Consider your back touching the cushion. Like that would be 6 feet. But anyway.
Yeah.
So, but the social distancing is real and it's important. I know we look a little crazy because I wouldn't say we're practicing social distancing right now, but we obviously are. This is like an essential episode, so we felt like we had to do this, right?
Yeah, I feel like we had to do this, and we had to release this in a timely, manner. But even like with the way that you can catch this corona thing, like the droplets, the air droplets, like you know what I mean, coughing, sneezing, just like the proximity, I think that's what was also making this thing so dangerous. It's not necessarily like, do I have a call for that? It's like, look, this thing is. I know there's been rumors that like this thing like lives on the surface.
Yeah.
Even. And like
there's still a little like uncertainty around it. But
like,
that
they
is
definitely was saying it will live in like cloth for a little bit. I don't know the specifics to that. Like, so I'm not gonna.
Yeah, and that's what's so difficult about this, in my opinion, because you have so much uncertainty, and I think a lot of people in good faith are trying to inform the public with the best information they have.
Yeah.
But a lot of the information can seem contradictory. Like
I think a lot of it is contradictory. And I think that's just because I think even like professionals don't really know what we have come across. You know what I mean? Like we like this is our first time seeing this.
Yeah.
Which is why we've turned into like this huge pandemic, because we like as people don't really know what is happening.
But that to me stresses the importance of listening to like the public health officials, because if I don't know what's going on, y'all don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And then to be bombarded with so much information, it's like, how do you actually even like know what to even go by? You know what I mean? And then the fake sites that be putting shit out, you know what I mean? Just a lot. It's
that's why
to be misinformed.
And we're gonna get into like, you know, trustworthy sources, especially as it relates to politics and the public officials and what they're saying publicly later. But that really is like a concern, at least that I have. Like early on, like we don't know the information, like we don't know what's going on.
And I'm glad today, like we do have a guest, you know what I mean, who can maybe to sit down and talk with us a little about, you know, how to make this thing essentially try to go away. You know what I mean? Like people are interested in getting back to like their what they quote unquote call like their regular lives.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we're going to try to tackle that today.
And really importantly, because I think a lot of people don't like when they think about social distancing, the first thing you think is like, damn, I'm trying to go out, I'm trying to have fun, I'm trying to do this. But it's not only about you. Like, yes, maybe you have a good immune system or and you're young and you don't have any underlying illness and you'll be fine. But you could still give it to somebody who can't say the same.
Yep.
And that includes like your parents, like, you know what I mean, your grandparents.
Yep.
You may have somebody in your family with the underlying condition that you have to think about.
Yeah.
So this is like, it's gonna require like selflessness.
Yeah, self-sacrifice.
Self-sacrifice, yeah, like for the better of everybody. Like we're not just looking out for yourself anymore. Like your actions dictate what happens to, you know, whoever. You know, and that's what's scary. Almost like a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we definitely gotta bond together right now.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Y'all heard about don't touch me, please.
Like that wasn't even funny. Like,
yeah, I was like, please don't touch me, bro. But nah, like y'all heard about those kids that went down to spring break?
Yeah, those dickheads. I saw them.
I was like, man, these kids really don't give a fuck about humanity, bro.
And people are, and I agree with something that a lot of people have said in response to that, which is they're kids. And I'm like, yeah, they are kids, and they're very stupid for saying that, but they are kids. So that to me means that it's on it's the job. No, not forget. We know parents are dumb too. Like real shit, we do know that.
Yeah.
So it's the job of local, state, and federal officials to tell them like, don't go to the beach. It's closed. Right. Because that beach that those kids were on, they kept it open until that public pressure. They were like, yo, why are these kids out there? Then they closed it. But why wasn't it closed?
On the front end. It should have been closed on the front end. Like the way they're closing down bars, the way they're closing down clubs, the way they're closing down. Like things are being shut down completely.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Why
like,
wouldn't you close it?
Like local and state governments have been like making it a point like there's nowhere for you to go.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And we're gonna talk a lot more about that aspect of it, like what the responsibility of politicians and public officials should be, but that's a concern.
Right. Oh, another thing too, like, because we already said like staying home, make sure you don't go out to people or whatever. If you do cough or whatever, don't cough into your actual hands.
Please don't.
Because then if you do that, then you go touch something and it stay on the surface. We don't know specifically how long that could cause issues. So make sure you coughing into like your
First of all, why do you cough into your hands, period?
Yeah, that's weird.
That's weird. Don't cough into your hands.
Yeah. Like, I don't even...
You do this?
Like, yeah, like, and then what? Then you go touch...
Bruh, that's gross, yo.
Yeah.
And I saw this video that showed, like, how important it is to wash your hands. Like, they put, like, the black light joint to mimic a virus. And if you don't wash your hands for 20 seconds, you're not doing anything.
Right.
Like, that's something that I mean, I wash my hands.
Yeah.
But... thinking about how long you wash your hands is really important too for this.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Word.
Yo, that joint stays on your hands, like, unless you stay for 20 seconds.
Right, and the mask. Like,
the mask.
If you got the cough, definitely, like, put on the mask because that's going to block it from, like, spreading to other people. But don't just be wearing a mask. Like, yo, my sister, I don't know where she was with her friends, and they all had the mask on. They was like, no corona. I'm like, yo, what you doing, bro? All on Facebook.
Yeah, nah, please don't do that.
I'm like, yo, Terry, what's wrong with you, God?
So, but yeah, like, the point of those masks is to, like you are preventing people who actually need them.
Right.
Like you're taking away from people who
there's
actually need those
a serious
masks.
supply shortage.
Supply shortage, yeah, absolutely. So like, don't just be putting masks on for the sake of like
being funny and shit.
Well, trying to be funny or call yourself like I'm preventing myself from getting like you're not. You know what I mean? If we don't really know quite how this thing is even passing from person to person, like you don't know, like that mask might have done absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
and we have and we have a healthcare professional here who can attest to this. But like the healthcare professionals are the ones who need it the most.
Hell yeah!
Not like people in the crib who are worried about how sick they are. Like they're the ones treating people. So like,
absolutely.
So let's think about that too. Like. And hopefully there's no black market popping up where people are selling masks.
Selling things on that.
I wonder who knows about that.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I would hope nobody does.
Nobody does. I hope nobody does.
Yeah, that's wild.
Like even my sister is an ear doctor. You know, like patients are coming in every day.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and she's still working. Like she hasn't been.
Is she wearing
sent
masks?
home? I'm not sure. I'd have to ask her if she's wearing masks at work.
Has she changed her like her habits? Is she going out? Like what is she doing?
So like nobody's going out anywhere. Nobody's doing anything in that capacity. Right. But as far as like she still wakes up, I'm at work at 8:00. Like if she has to work today, she has to work tomorrow. Like she worked this morning actually. Saturday morning in the doctor's office. And so like that, like people are coming in and you have no clue what people are walking in off the street on. Like a lot of and with hearing, a lot of her customers are elderly. You know what I'm saying? And so like you are an elderly person, a lot of them don't drive. You know what I'm saying? So you take public transportation and stuff.
So she's still treating elderly.
She's still treating
But
patients.
what about even after they said no more like non-essential medical trips?
You feel like a doctor's appointment. Like elderly feels like my hearing is essential.
But it's not. Like
you don't gotta hear.
like you could be safe and deaf. Like
I don't know.
Nah, it's not an essential. It's not.
Isn't
they literally mean like they mean like life-saving surgeries, like stuff like that is what they consider essential.
Tell the elderly that who needs to go grocery shopping still. Yeah. Who like I need to be able to hear that elderly woman who drives who can't drown out that horn.
I'm only talking about medical procedures. Like so, for example, I had I'm pointing to my ear, but I meant my eye. An eye doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, I had an eye appointment and they canceled it. It's supposed to be like April something.
So they saying like you don't need to see.
No, it's just not essential.
Like, gotcha. So at a certain level.
So one thing, I don't think y'all appreciate the overwhelming like rush of people that are about to go to the hospitals.
Yeah.
Like, and that's another reason why it's important to do social distancing because it's like they don't have the capacity to treat all these people.
That's a fact. Yeah.
That's why they're saying like, all right, if you have an eye appointment or if you have an ear appointment,
you can miss that.
You can miss that. You can afford to miss that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
So I think like you can afford to miss it if you are young with decent eyes. If I'm 65 years old,
okay,
like this, like, and I drive. Let's say I'm a 65-year-old who drives, and my hearing is impaired. And like I said, somebody hits on that horn. Like now it's a car accident. Now we all going to the hospital.
All I'm saying is, you wouldn't be a priority.
You got the corona.
Priority.
You wouldn't be a priority. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, you wouldn't be a priority.
All right.
Yeah. Oh man. And yeah, also make sure.
But I'm sorry to cut you because I don't want to forget this because you said your sister is what? She's staying home.
She's staying home.
So if you can stay home, stay home.
Yeah. If we ain't say that, make sure you definitely stay home.
Gotta say that.
Only go out if you need groceries or I don't even know what else you would need.
She goes out for work.
Oh yes, and if you have to go to work.
If you have no option. I was a little frustrated. My mom works at a school in New York, and I was calling her every day like, "Why are you still at work?"
Yeah.
Like I think to the city at the time they thought like, oh, school is essential because a lot of kids depend on for food. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, yo, like me being selfish, I was like, nah, like you gotta
stay home.
You gotta stay home.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I know. Even like, I mean, that segues right. And even me, like professionally as a teacher myself, like they've shut down schools the last 2 weeks.
Right.
This past week and the upcoming week, and like they're looking to at the schools I'm at. I know like different schools in different counties have had different things, but the schools I'm at, like we're looking to go back March 30th.
Okay.
Like there's been nothing said. You know what I mean?
It's so not happening.
Yeah, we gonna
that is not happening.
We gonna talk about that more, right? So, do y'all think right now we should just have our guests? We should cycle into that.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So we be right back, and then we're gonna have our guests. We'll be right back. Okay. We are back. Yo, so today we have my Sans. What up, Sans? How you doing?
Hey.
All right, so we have Chioma here today. She is a nurse, and so we're just gonna give you a quick second just to talk about, a little bit about what you do. That shameless plug. Don't worry about it. And then we can go from there.
All right. So yeah, my name is Chioma. I am a registered nurse. I've been a nurse now for over 10 years. I graduated from San Diego State. What I do now, though, is the name of my company is called Choosing Nursing, and I help nurses to pass their boards exam. So I work with a lot of nurses, and so I educate them, teach them, and just really help them to be nurses, which is the people that's really needed right now in the midst of everything that's happening.
Right.
So yeah, I'm definitely up to date as far as healthcare, because I have to teach it all the time, medical care.
Yeah. And where can they find you on social media and everything as well, just to get that out there?
I'm all over social media. Our social media is Choosing Nursing on Facebook, Instagram. Our website is choosingnursing.net.
Okay. All right, cool. Anywhere on YouTube?
Yes, we're also on YouTube as well. YouTube, Twitter, all social media channels.
Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, man, let's get started. I know that we probably have a lot of questions to ask. So yeah, we could just start firing them off.
Yeah. You're the perfect person to have on for an episode like this.
Right.
Can you just in layman's terms tell us how worried we should be and what we should be doing as far as precautions go?
Okay, so what I would say is how worried you are depends on who you are and what you currently already have. So if you are generally a healthy person, you probably have the least amount to worry about, to be honest, as long as you practice the precautions I'll share in a minute. But if you are somebody that is elderly, or you're not elderly but you still have other pre-existing conditions that weakens your immune system, then you will have the highest risk, and you really could unfortunately potentially die from this type of virus. So it really depends on who you are and what you currently have, and if you're repeatedly exposed to somebody who, patients that have the coronavirus, there's going to be a higher risk. So the ground is not even for everybody. So it really depends.
Yeah.
And then as far as the precautions, I mean, we already know you got to wash your hands. But make sure when you wash your hands vigorously for at least 20 seconds or more.
Right, good point.
And then also, of course, try to avoid public settings. Try to avoid settings specifically. I know a lot of places are on lockdown, but try to avoid public bathrooms, public gyms, places where bacteria, sweat, is going to be more predominant in that area. And then another thing, too, is that because we don't have a vaccine for the virus, your best bet is to focus on building your immune system.
Right.
So there's several things you can do in this area. One, aside from washing your hands, take plenty of vitamin C. Vitamin C is a huge immune booster. So this is orange juice. We're taking the actual vitamin C itself. Very, very effective. Also, as well, getting enough sleep. So getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. That also helps to boost your immune system. So when your body is tired and worn down, your immune system weakens.
Yeah, it's you're more susceptible to cold, colds.
Exactly, you're more susceptible to colds. And then of course you gotta definitely distance yourself from people who may already be exposed to it as well.
She's got it going.
And you don't even know who that is, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, you don't really know quite because of the fact that a lot of people are not symptomatic right away.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Or at all, right?
Everybody is different as far as how they respond to it. But whenever a virus hits somebody's body, there's something called an incubation period. And the incubation period is pretty much how long it takes from when the virus touches somebody's body or goes into somebody's body till they actually show symptoms.
Gotcha.
So that's the problem. That's the reason why it's spreading so quickly, because that incubation period, you're asymptomatic. So you're going to do stuff as if you don't got it. So, and so that's why it spreads as quickly as it does. Yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I saw that it was the incubation period could be anywhere from 2 days to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true? Or?
Yeah, so everybody's different, but it looks like it's 2 to 10 days, maybe more so or less. And the problem though is that because that there's not enough testing, that also kind of makes it difficult to identify the incubation period,
right.
So because there's not enough testing, we can't really see, the exact timeline.
Right.
So
when
yeah.
it was received. So can people have this virus and it only come off like a common cold? Like you had that 3-day common cold, you was good, and it'd be like, oh, actually you had the virus.
Absolutely, it has flu-like symptoms. So coughing, fever, sore throat, sneezing. Those are all symptoms that look like the flu as well. Aside from body aches. So yeah, absolutely. It looks like the common cold symptoms, but what makes it so different is that people are actually, dying from it though. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so like this can, but I feel like if somebody is like asymptomatic, where you kind of feel like, well, they might have it, like, because even when I've seen, we'll talk about this a little bit later. So when I've seen like athletes who have been quarantined, like they're still reporting from a video camera, like, I feel all right today, I'm still fine. Like they've hit the virus phase, they've hit the incubation phase. They have, almost at this point, like been cleared, like, all right, you should be good after these 2-3 weeks. Like they've never hit like that drop down flu. Like when I think flu, I think, yo, this guy is down.
Yeah. Like I caught
You know what I'm
strep
saying?
throat last year, and it was the worst. And they said strep throat is similar to flu. So if it's anything like when I had strep.
Well, you have to also remember that everybody has a different immune system. And basketball players, they have a much healthier immune system than the general public because of the fact that they work out, they exercise, you have to train yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be very easy where they have it, but they're not ever showing the symptoms or get to
strong,
because they have a
so
strong,
healthy.
exactly.
Damn.
So that's
you-
another factor.
Are you at a greater risk if you smoke?
Absolutely, because smoking weakens your immune system. Smoking, drinking a lot, absolutely.
Would like common, like maybe not like common, is it something like diabetes? Like would up your risk as far as like something like emphysema. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like people would react completely different, and like that maybe that diabetes person isn't as crazy, or
The person that has emphysema is more worse than somebody who has diabetes because it's a respiratory virus.
Right.
Somebody has emphysema, they already have a weakened immune system, and they have already weakened respiratory system, so they're going to be way more problematic symptoms than somebody with diabetes.
Yeah.
The thing about diabetes, depending on if it's type 1 or type 2 diabetes, there's a lot of patients that have diabetes and are very healthy. But then there's also, because they're able to control it very well and they're able to take their insulin and eat healthy, exercise. But then there's also a lot of people where their diabetes is uncontrolled, and those are the patients that if they get exposed to the virus, they're going to be more at risk for showing the symptoms.
Okay. Damn. Okay. So what about non-respiratory diseases, like, or just anything that's not having to do, because I'm asthmatic, so I guess
Same.
like we would be like,
At a higher risk.
But like, let's just say if you have like a certain cancer,
Yeah.
like I know I don't really know if it could affect it, but like, would it affect it? Because it just said that people with pre-existing conditions, they never specified like what, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it doesn't have to be where the person has to have a respiratory or a pre-existing respiratory problem, but if they do and they get the virus, that's really, really bad.
Right.
But other pre-existing conditions that just weakens the immune system, period, that's going to be also a negative impact if they get in close contact with somebody who has the virus. So, for example, even if somebody doesn't have a respiratory issue, if they have a problem like cancer weakens the immune system. So the way our body works is that your body has something called white blood cells.
Yep.
And somebody who has cancer, especially if they're
less.
they have less, especially if they're on chemo. Although white blood cells in your body does not eradicate the virus, it's your body's defense system.
Yep.
So if somebody already has low white blood cells, or they already have a low defense system because of another condition, then if they get exposed to this too, it's like a double whammy.
Okay.
So the biggest thing is that does the current condition they have is it already weaken their immune system? Because if it is, they're going to be more susceptible to the virus, and unfortunately, if they don't manage it well, they're not going to have a good outcome.
Right.
And so cancer would weaken those white blood cells already on the front end. So to add a cold, even without it being corona, like a regular cold could put you down a little worse.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because of the
absolutely.
white
Because like even like in the hospital setting, when we have a patient that has cancer, we isolate them. So we put them in a separate room, and then we also make it a habit or a precautionary that, you know, if you go in the room, only like one person come at a time. You limit your distance. You can't bring fresh plants, flowers, nothing like that into the room, in order just to prevent the patient from getting worse. So absolutely, you know, it's definitely a factor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we definitely got to make sure, like, you know, you're taking care of yourself and just trying to like keep your immune system as strong as possible at all times.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of people like they putting up memes like, oh, day one on the corona of the quarantine, and they're like slim looking in the fridge, and then it says day 10 and it's like an obese person.
Yeah.
And I think that people are some people may be like just eating or whatever the case may be, but what I do like is that a lot of people are like working out and like, we're gonna talk about
that. And that's actually what next week's episode touches on. And I'm really looking forward to that, because I mean, life has to go on.
Right.
And we got to figure out how to do that.
The innovative ways are pretty dope.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for Sans?
I don't have any questions. Definitely thank you. Thank you for coming. You know what I mean? I really
Absolutely.
appreciate your time and
that's a fact.
educating us on what we bring to the table.
And shout out to you.
Thank you for having me.
You're a healthcare professional, and healthcare professionals are at the front line fighting this virus. So shout out to y'all.
One thing that we were talking earlier though about like the kids on spring break. So when they were on spring break, well, we mentioned earlier how they were on spring break and they were just saying like, fuck it. And like it's a video of a guy saying like, if I catch corona, I catch corona. And he was out there on the beaches and everything like that. And like a bunch of people were still out at the bars. And
there was a one girl who said that we're overblowing it.
Yeah, it's not that serious. So like in an environment like that, I think that everyone's aware that it was spread. But like, what are like the main ramifications? You know what I mean? Like specifically, like I don't know if you like thought about, you know, like how quickly it spreads, but just in a scenario like that where people are just everywhere, flooded out on the beach and the bars, smoking hookah together. They showed that in that video.
Yeah. So you have to think about it. Like when you go to like the beach, first of all, the beaches, you're going to get wet, and being wet, that already like more moisture always is going to attract more bacteria, which is also going to put other people around you more susceptible. So that, and then and as well, being in the beach, there's so many things that you touch that everybody else touches, from the trash to the bathrooms to the sand, like everything. So literally, it's like these people that are coming in saying, I don't care, and they're going to just go into this environment and just start doing whatever they want to do, and then they're going to send it back to other people, because we don't know the origin of how quickly this is spreading, unfortunately. Like, yes, we know that China is where it started, but at this point, you have to assume that it's everywhere.
It's a global thing.
You know. So, and so by their responding that way, it's just putting a lot more people in harm's way and danger.
You could call it stupid.
Yeah, stupid. That's
it's
the right
very
word.
Stupid. It's very stupid, yo.
You know, because they're really, and this is the sad thing about it, because I saw the video. You know, most of the people are like 21. They're young, so they're not susceptible to getting sick. But what happens though when after you leave the beach and you go to your college, your campus, you see your teacher, or you talk to anybody like an elderly person, and you're gonna expose them. They're gonna
grandma,
affect.
Grandpa, because school they shut down schools.
Exactly.
And now you give your grandma a hug and a kiss, and God forbid, you know what happens next.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it's that type of ignorance that is contributing to it spreading. Right. You know, as quickly as it is, and so the best thing that we can really do is that we can stay informed, educate ourselves, and like I was saying earlier, this has to be selfless. Like, we have to be willing to not just sacrifice for ourselves, but for other people by limiting our exposure. So yeah.
Man, so man, once again, thank you, Sam.
Appreciate you for coming on.
We're going to throw up her stuff on YouTube and in the description and everything, all of her different channels, but just want to say thank you for that. We really appreciate that. Shouts out to you, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. With that, we're going to take another break, and then we will be right back, guys. So how is it affecting, like, collegiate sports and everything?
Like, collegiate sports have been crazy. Like, they, initially they shut down the Ivy Leagues. they shut down all of like the NCAA conferences.
Right,
you know
right.
what I mean? Slowly but surely.
But at first, they was on some like trying to keep it type, like.
So they were the NCAA was on some like, yo, let's keep it and no fans.
Yeah,
You
which
know what I'm
is,
saying? And I want to say a couple conferences finished like that. Or no, they didn't finish. They met to play, and then the commissioner came in and was like, "Nah, we're not doing this." I want to say that was Florida State, actually, and that's how they won the ACC. Was that they both teams were there ready to play with no fans, just them, and then they canceled the game.
But where are we now? So they've canceled everything.
They've canceled everything. They've canceled all sports. Like they've sent all the kids home. Like all of that's done.
Yeah.
The NCAA actually came up with this like relief program where they're gonna allow some seniors to stay essentially another year, grab another year eligibility as they're trying to bring in like incoming freshmen. That's going to get tricky, right? Like,
like from a, I don't know, like from a college perspective, if a basketball team has 15 players and then 5 were seniors, but you were recruiting high school students, like is the roster just going to grow? Like how does that, you know what I mean?
Who gets to play?
Right.
What sports are we talking? Like basketball is just the one that we didn't finish clearly, but like soccer season is here, lacrosse season is here.
Right.
Like Syracuse was a huge lacrosse school.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and those boys are what, like the rosters are much bigger than 15 kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
So,
how
like,
big is a football roster? 54 players?
Yeah, it's like 50 and some change. Yeah. Like, but I don't know, like football's a fall sport.
It might even be more in college. I know that's the NFL size. So yeah, it's a lot of students.
And I know there's practice squads.
Right.
Like I
gotta pay
remember
for
there's
them
practice
to live.
squads in college. So like who's gonna fund all of that? And I think that's been like the biggest problem with the NCAA.
So funding is the problem.
I think funding is like one of the biggest
Yeah, that makes
issues.
sense.
Like how do we afford this? Like what? Like we can't just hand out we just not gonna find another $40,000 scholarship for
But some
5
people
more
say
kids.
that these colleges, most colleges, be just bankrolling and they have like bread.
See, and that's my uninformed. That was my assumption. I'm like,
Right.
they have all this bread.
Right.
I mean, yes, right. Like schools got bread, like, but there's money needs to be allocated to certain things, right? And if you are allocated, like as a coach, you are allocated 5 scholarships.
Yeah.
You can't just show up to your AD like I need 10 scholarships today.
I mean, to me, the simple answer to that is you can't give out the same amount of scholarships. Maybe
Then
if
what about the high school kids?
that's what I'm saying. There's gonna be pain.
I mean, you can get it illegal and start to like knock down these boosters, like you shake down these boosters. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you
And
donate.
I'm sure some schools will be doing that.
And you know what I mean? That may happen, but that's illegal, clearly.
Super
But
illegal.
like, you know what I mean? You only get what you get.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just crazy, man.
Like, and then cats trying to make the league. You know what I mean? Like, if this was your chance to make the NBA, it's done.
Like this like March Madness is a platform.
Yep.
It's an opportunity to boost your stock. You know what I mean? To put your name out there, and a lot of players are gonna miss out on that opportunity.
Yeah, man.
Crazy.
That shit is crazy.
But it sounds like when it comes to like the money thing, it's really a haves versus have-nots. Like you got the schools with the bread that can do it, that can weather the storm, and the schools that can't.
That can't. Like my HBCUs are gonna struggle a little. You know what I mean? Like and that is painful. You know, I'm telling you the dream job, man. You're gonna see me out here with the HBCU team. You know what I mean? In the Final Four. Cats gonna be like, yo, where they come from? Like Johnson put the team
And
on
I
his
believe
back.
that you will do that too.
It's coming. My time is
And
coming.
all I ask is for tickets, God.
You know, we'll see what we can do for you.
And I need
see what we can
access.
do for
I'm trying to get to like the front row. I
Yeah,
don't need
word.
tickets.
Let me
I don't
actually-
need to
Yeah,
get
let
in
me
the
pull
building.
up. Let me pull up and take some photos and shit.
All right, we'll see. I got you, man. Like if I have the
I'm
power,
bringing
man.
nothing to the table.
I just want to be there.
I just want to be there.
But moving on, though.
Yeah, let's talk about these high school kids. Like, so we touched a little bit on them missing out on the scholarships, but
Yo, like some of the kids are like in my class are like hoping on like baseball scholarships, right? And when everybody thinks scholarship, they immediately think like full ride, right? Like, but a lot of not a lot, but every kid who's looking for a scholarship don't need the full thing. You understand? Like if I can give you like $15,000 right now towards that D2 or that D3 program, like my parents and loans can handle the rest. Like I had no scholarship before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I was looking at a full loan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like now you've cut the opportunity to, in some cases, potentially cut my tuition in half.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is where like high school kids are with everything canceled as a senior.
But so just looking, so it looks like the impact of this is a little uneven because you got some high school kids who I'm sure aren't playing, aren't able to like participate in the leagues and all that. And you have some schools that it sounds like, and I don't know, where exactly around the country, but there are places around the country where there's no lockdown. There's no like direct order, like you can't play.
Yeah.
So do you think first of all, do you agree that it's okay, like whatever the local, school says, or do you think that nobody should be playing right now?
I think right now nobody should be balling.
Yeah, cut that shit out.
Right now nobody should be hooping.
We all know the effects. Like we all know how it's spreaded. So throughout these sports, like playing these games, like breathing up on each other, running on each other, impact with each other. Like, come on, we all know what it's gonna do. So it's like
they've put the requirements like 10 people or less.
Yeah.
Right. Like a basketball, like that's one team with no coach.
Right.
Like it's 10 or less.
So who you gonna play?
Who you gonna play?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that shit crazy, bro.
I wonder if they're at least now that would still be more than 10, like practicing, but probably not.
I'm sure you could work kids out like one-on-one
individually.
But that would require you to go to a gym.
Yeah.
Right, and we're not doing
and
that.
then each kid got to get one gym. Maybe you could spread it out, but then
or maybe do
still,
like a schedule, like for an hour you here.
But even still, if one kid has it and then they come and see the coach, and then after that, the coach is seeing other people, like it's a recipe for the disaster.
Yeah, like everything has not been all on one accord.
Yeah.
Everything has not been all together when it comes to this sports situation.
This shit is wild.
Especially when we hit this NBA talk.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Man, talk about the NBA.
So, I don't feel like I'm talking too much, man.
You in your bag.
Karen,
You in your bag. Go ahead.
Yeah,
you in your bag, man. I like this.
Like we can start with like the Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And his quote was like, if there's any kind of silver lining, you know what I mean? And it's
even before we get to the Matt Barnes joint, let's talk about what's happening in the NBA.
Oh yes.
So obviously, because of the pandemic, the NBA was one of the first leagues to say, nah, we're good. And obviously there was a positive test, Rudy Gobert, and Donovan Mitchell.
Yep.
So what we've seen is the NBA basically shut down. I mean, they had 19 games left in the season?
19 games left in the season.
And that's not happening, at least right now that's not happening. So that's on hold. The playoffs are on hold. I mean, this was honestly one of the more interesting NBA seasons. There was so much happening.
So much happening.
It was highly anticipated.
To
start the year, it was highly
I'm disappointed.
Yeah.
Like I want to see LeBron's run like in the playoffs.
I think especially with the passing of Kobe, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
to the late great. But like everybody was definitely expecting like LeBron to put the Lakers completely on his back and go win another chip. Like we were looking like the Kobe Shaq show. Like we got the LeBron AD show.
Right.
Like we were like I was hype.
And
like,
that's why I feel like they should postpone it. And, they said it's postponed until
postponed.
You know what I mean. So I hope that this thing gets better and then we could actually get back to it because. We gotta see this.
And the battle in LA, Clippers on the Lakers, like
it's safe to say that there's gonna be a parade in LA. The question is whether it's for the Lakers or the Clippers.
And that sounds like a popping weekend.
Right. But wait, go back to that Matt Barnes thing.
Yeah. So the Matt Barnes joint was like, if there's any kind of silver lining, and it's hard to address it now. This is his quote. Quote unquote. But if these guys are going to take a break going into the playoffs, you build anticipation of the NBA coming back. You know what I mean? Like of the NBA, like once people,
Well, you good?
I feel like I'm rambling a little bit.
No, you fine.
We're talking too much.
Nah, you good.
So you build anticipation of the NBA coming back. Your best players are now going to have 2, 3, 4 weeks off.
It's dangerous.
Like, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Like
who would want to see LeBron fresh in the playoffs?
Right. All players, all major players.
Facts.
Like it's gonna be crazy, which is why they gotta postpone it. And I hope that we.
But here's my thing though: why can't they just I'm assuming that this is gonna be a while. Whenever they come back, I don't think it makes sense to continue the season.
I think the season's done too. I think you come back straight playoffs. Like whatever you got, 1 through 8, that's what you got. Let's
see.
ball.
But then that's fucked up to the people that.
To the bottom?
Yeah, to the people that if you in that 9th, 10th spot and you still think you can make a push, we don't have the schedule up right now, but I'm just saying
there are definitely good teams in that range.
Like wasn't the Pelicans trying to make a push? If the Pelicans make a push and then if they could get to the 8th spot, it's safe to say that homeboy Zion will probably win Rookie of the Year.
The Rookie of the Year doesn't include playoffs.
No, but I'm saying just to get to that.
But that's Ja Morant's though.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
It's John
Ja
Morant's right now, but if you don't think if the Pelicans get there, even though he
makes a
played
run,
less
maybe
games,
he missed mad games though.
But the
He missed
media was
mad
going
games.
crazy for that
It's
man.
extremely disrespectful
It is
to
disrespectful.
Ja Morant.
to John Morant.
It is, but it's like MVP. Like he came back and then they do that
But
push.
to your point, that is a narrative that we can't even like see how it concludes. Like
Yeah.
we can't even see.
Right.
Zion doesn't even have that opportunity, so it does suck.
Yeah.
it does suck. But like it's 19 games.
How fast is that? That's a month.
Nah, that's more than a month. They
I
play.
know, they play
maybe
like
they
10,
do have
12.
a condensed schedule where they start playing more games
Oh,
in a
back
short
to
amount of time.
backs.
Because
Yeah.
right now the schedule is light. It's like 2 or 3
It'd be
games
like
a week
a
for the
week.
most part.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But I think that kind of like cuts the fresh legs piece off. Like
It does.
That completely
Straight to the
goes against-
playoffs. For that
goes
reason.
against your
Yeah.
argument.
Straight to the playoffs.
Yeah, I still feel like they should count it out. They should. Not count it out. They should like.
And we'll
still
see what they do.
it.
We don't know what they're gonna do.
We don't know. Like that's
honestly.
definitely still up in the air.
Or
But yeah, I mean, this is serious because like, how many players have been tested positive? So many.
yeah,
Like,
and major. Well, not major players, but a big name.
So
Some big names.
but you know what? You know what's crazy though? Because like thinking about Rudy Gobert, he's getting a lot of flack
Yeah.
for obviously being careless with all that.
He
But-
was like this.
But we don't.
Right.
If we're being
That's not
real,
funny, but
it's not funny at all.
It's
And
not funny.
honestly, like he's
it's
a bozo.
straight.
For that.
It's straight irresponsible. But he ain't know he had it.
But here's the thing though. Do we even know he's the first person that had it? We don't know that.
Yeah, where he got it from?
Where did he get it from? So there's an element of like the criticism he's receiving that's a little unfair.
Yeah.
Because it's like you don't even know if he's.
And he felt fine. You know what I mean? That's why he was making those jokes.
But that was a dickhead move to like touch shit.
Yeah.
Like-
I don't think I would have played like that being in that predicament.
Yeah.
But we could all say it. We not there. So,
Yeah, we not there, but
Yeah, it's
that
crazy.
was don't do that. Like
Yeah.
that was a nice little PSA. Like don't do that. Like,
Right.
They should just run a Rudy Gobert commercial.
Hell yeah.
And
then-
Durantula.
Right.
Durant.
And
You know
he
what I
came
mean?
out and said it. At first, I thought that it was like people, like doctors and all this other shit, saying like, "Yo,"
Right.
and so I was like, "Yo, that's crazy."
But they
Like,
put official statements. out,
yeah,
like,
they're
on
doing
some-
it themselves. So
Right.
that's another thing. Just in case y'all was wondering that, because I thought that myself. I was like, "Yo, like whatever happened to HIPAA laws?" But
But I did see NBA players. So when they announced that the Lakers had players,
yeah, why didn't they say?
Who?
but I saw NBA players. What's the dude from the 76ers, Tobias Harris? He was
Yeah.
like, thank you for not disclosing who tested positive. He did say that on Twitter. So there are players who are concerned that like their private information, maybe they're being compelled to come forward and say like,
Yeah.
I don't know, but he did express that. Like, you know
If
what
the
I mean?
Kings got it.
Huh?
If the Kings got it.
If the Kings got it.
Yeah.
Nah, the King don't got it. He
doesn't
on
have it,
like
yeah.
he on Facebook Live and all that with his family and everything.
Yeah, but like maybe his results hasn't come back yet. Like we don't know.
I think we would. I feel like we would know if LeBron had it.
Yeah.
If LeBron had it, we might have to go to war.
Yo, we have to. We have to.
Like, yo, he's
China?
too important. He's too
China, we don't
important.
wanna
The
go to
King
war.
has
China's
it. Like
too
we
important.
got. It's going to be a problem.
But who the mayor from New York?
Blasio.
Yeah, de Blasio was
He
saying,
he took issue because obviously a lot of people are being tested.
Yeah.
At
Yes.
the NBA level, took issue with that.
Like yeah.
he's like, yo, like why are you like
The rich.
You know what
He
I
feels
mean?
like the rich. Only
Right.
the rich people are being tested. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the NBA is the only people that are being tested. Like they're regular people right here.
yeah.
Who-
And I
who
will
has it?
say that when he first did say that, I was like, wow, like that's a
Same.
valid point. It made it feel real classist.
Right.
But since then, I believe as of like yesterday, in like PG County and in certain parts of DC, they're now doing like rapid tests where if you go to your doctor and get your doctor's approval, then you'll be able to go and like get these tests and they do the swab, you send it in. It has a whole process. We can include that link in the
Yeah,
bio.
because I think like the availability of the test is the real problem. Because like
Yeah.
de Blasio, he's been sounding the alarm every day. Like yo,
Right.
Like
We
need more tests. We need more everything.
Right.
So
Not for the wealthy, but for the sick.
and that the optics of rich people getting the tests and poor people, or not even poor people, just people,
Rich.
non-rich people, like
Yeah.
middle class people, whoever, they're not getting the test. It does look bad.
It does look really
so
bad.
I don't think it was a bad point to bring up, but I do also think that there is an obligation on the part of the NBA and all the teams to test their players though.
Yeah, a few players started donating money. Like, who was it?
Blake
donating
Griffin.
like $1 million to their city.
Yeah.
Like, I believe Rudy Gobert did to Utah.
Yeah, a lot of players
to
are
the-
doing that. And
to-
shout out to the players that are doing that.
Hell yeah.
I would like to see more, but I've always been the type of person I'm like, I don't want to tell people what to do with their bread, but like it'd be nice if I see more rich people.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're gonna get the money back. Like that's where the greed comes into place, but that's gonna take us down like a whole rabbit hole or whatever.
But Adam Silver responded. You know what I mean? When he talked about like the you know, de Blasio's like effort to the poor, you know, he responded and was like, look, man, like I prepared. You know what I mean? Essentially, it's like, I prepared for this. Like I saw what happened over in China.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I came back, like, look, we about to shut the NBA down. Everybody lined up to get tested. Right. They went 5 games back from the Jazz and started going backwards.
They went 10 games back.
Oh, they went 10 games back.
Yeah, they went 10 games
And the reason why he had a head start is because, you know, the NBA is a global league. You know, basketball is a global sport, and they have camps, they have leagues and all that in China. And so experts were telling him early, like, yo.
Yeah, my bad. 5 games in 10 days? One of those.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was only 5 games. Yeah, like they went 5 games back from the Jazz. And that's how they started testing different teams. That's how you go from the Jazz to the, I don't even know who was next.
I think it was 5 games for 10 days. Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You start to go back with whatever. And now we up to the Lakers.
Right.
So there you have it. And what's crazy is you have to test like every team that team has played as well. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah, nah.
You know what I mean? Which is why eventually you're going to have to hit the entire league.
Yeah. I mean, they interact with too many people to just not test them. I mean, it's a team facing, fan interactive type sport. So
So how does the rest of the year look for them? Like, do you really think that they're just going to skip to the playoffs? Or?
There's no regular season happening. I don't even know if there's a playoff happening. I hope there is.
Trash.
I hope so.
No champions, you gotta crown one. Even if you push back the next season, like the league starts in like October, like push that joint back to like November, December. They want the break anyway.
You can't do that.
Why not? Weren't they talking about
you're gonna be fucking up the future seasons.
Everything.
They just gonna have to like shorten. Remember they were talking about like less games and all that. So now they have
so then shorten the games, but start on time.
Okay.
I just think if they can't get the playoffs in, just chalk the season.
That's crazy.
You got to chalk the season. I would hate it, but there's no alternative. Maybe the alternative is to play the games with no fans. Yeah. Because by now everybody has been tested.
Yes.
Maybe they can.
But that seemed whack.
Do you allow the players who tested positive back?
Right.
That's a great question. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's almost gonna be like Magic when he had AIDS. Well, HIV, my bad. And
not the same thing though.
They were spooked.
Yeah, they were spooked. They were spooked back then, but that's not the same thing. Knowing what we know now, it's not the same thing.
Yeah, my bad. Yeah, I'm not trying to like cause an uproar.
But how is Adam Silver as a leader relate to like your current leader?
Yo, so
better job.
We've said that Adam Silver's decisive like decision making when the time came probably helped in terms of how the country's reacting. So and the question becomes, why did he need to do that? And the reason why is because there was no leadership out of the White House from the president from the beginning. I mean, I read a report in the Washington Post yesterday about how the CIA and all the intelligence agencies
warned him
early, something's happening in China. They're not being forthcoming about what's happening. Pay attention to this. And he was dismissive right up until it was too late.
That is crazy.
And I mean, it's a symptom of like the kind of person he is. Yeah. He can't even think farther than like what's happening tomorrow.
Right.
He only cares about himself, and we see that. That's like trash, even when he does I don't know if y'all watch the daily press conferences, bruh.
When he flipped out.
Yo, and not only does he flip out.
What do you call it?
So a reporter, Peter Alexander, who works for NBC, he asked him like, a lot of people are scared right now. What do you have to say to those people who, they're scared? I mean, that was essentially the question. That's not a direct quote, but that was the question.
Right.
And Donald Trump was like, I would say that you're a terrible reporter.
Yeah, he was wilding.
Like that was his response to that, and it was just a missed opportunity to reassure the American people, all that stuff. So it's just like a failure of leadership.
Right, calling it the Kung flu.
The Kung flu.
Like that's pretty funny, but not coming from your president. You know what I mean? Like that is
Chinese virus.
Like
the Chinese virus. Look at all the race.
Whose man's is this?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like and he calls it the Chinese virus, but what's crazy is it's America right now that's making it worse.
Yeah.
Like China, criticized whatever their methods were, but they stopped that shit from spreading.
Yeah.
Like they did the shutdown, it was like 8 weeks. It was intense, but now they flattened the curve.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they're calling like the
Right.
to stop the spread.
Right.
We haven't done that. So why are we calling it the Chinese flu
Right.
when it's being like exacerbated by the US?
Exactly.
So
Yeah, man.
Trump is a bozo. I hope he doesn't win in November.
The only thing that's fucked up about this shit is that if like it's gonna get better, right? Like I'm just an optimist. I believe that it's gonna get better. Whatever happens, once it gets better, he's gonna try to take all that credit and utilize that to the next campaign.
And one of the concerns is that like people are gonna say, like, let's say we do the lockdown, we shut everything down, and it's effective, it works. A lot of people are saying that people are gonna be like, yo, like, see, y'all overreacted. See, it's fine. Like, why are y'all tripping? See, obviously we're fine, but it's because of what we did. Like, it's because of the measures we took. So that's actually a catch-22 that,
yo,
you know
either way, like you don't want him to win, but you want it to get better. Once it gets better, he's definitely going to try
if he did what he was supposed to do, I would say, like, salute. You did what you were supposed to do. I have no problem with crediting somebody for doing what they're supposed to do. He's not doing it, though.
Right.
He's not. So it's a failure of leadership. We're at a point where we're depending on like the professional public health officials to tell us what to do. But we're in a situation now when he does like the daily press conferences. He's giving misinformation. He's saying things that have been debunked. Like yesterday,
freestyling.
Yesterday he was like, there's these 2 drugs that you mix together and everybody should just take it now. And we were like, oh, like, is that what we're supposed to do? Like, cool. Because it's like the anti-malarial drug and some HIV drug. Yeah. And people are looking into whether that's something we should do, but we don't know that. Yeah. But he's just like freestyling. Dr. Donald Trump apparently is like, oh, like, take this. It's dangerous.
It is dangerous. Yeah. It's crazy, man.
But enough. I don't want to get on. Let me get off my soapbox.
I can hear the excitement.
He was in his bag. Like he was like, "Yo, this thing is a
and you know what's crazy? They don't think he's that bad. Obviously.
Whoa, don't do that.
Because I'm sounding the alarm.
We gotta have to stop spreading misinformation. We just spoke about Trump doing that. We gotta stop.
Fair.
We gotta stop. Right. I got you, bro. What a thing at?
Wow. So. The Trump Alliance is forming. The Trump Alliance is forming.
Yeah. Yo, I don't know why the siren one I always think it don't matter. It don't matter. It's the foghorn, but whatever. But yeah, man. So shit.
And y'all heard that Pence is being tested too, right?
Yes.
Pence is being tested. He came into contact with somebody on his staff has it.
Yeah, true.
So
that's
see.
crazy. They said Trump didn't have it. I'm like,
that's what they said. I mean,
they probably giving him mad shit. That's why he's like, yo, just mix the malaria. Like, yo, just try it, my nigga. Like, that ass. But yo, so being here in DC, like, how, like, we spoke about how it affected us personally, but I think that we should share with the world since, you know what I mean, we here in DC, like, what's the impact on DC, how it's been and shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, DC is, I think, moving with a purpose, more so than some other places.
Hell yeah. Niggas is partying in New York. My homegirl from middle school, it was her birthday, like the second week it started, like right before they started shutting down. So a week before this past week. And she was in the clubs. It was people smoking hookah.
But that's not the case today,
I thought
though.
we was talking about DC.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Because they didn't shut it down. Like, it was, like, seen as a joke. But my bad. Yeah, let's stick on topic. All right, you're right.
Yeah,
like, you're right.
It was like, yo, in New York.
You're right. My bad.
Oh, man. Nah, like, DC, like, currently DC has been shut down. Like, they shut down the bars. They shut down the everything.
But you said it yourself. There was crazy traffic today.
People are going somewhere. I just don't know where. But people are definitely like on the move. Like even after when I picked you up today, like we could see the other side is like a straight traffic
jam. To the quarantine
jam.
Party.
Whole traffic jam. There were mad people in your hood too. Like even out, like there were cars driving up and down, people walking.
Really? People are
it's a little crazy.
Man, they got one weekend and now they're like, I'm good.
I don't know.
I also kind of think like people who did work Monday through Friday feel like, yo, I got to get this stuff done on the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Before I go back to work on Monday.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's all just like people out here politicking.
There probably are a few people that are doing what they're supposed to do. Like it's essential.
I don't think people.
essential,
I would
yeah.
like to believe that people weren't traveling for like leisure. You know what I mean? I don't think that.
I mean,
A traffic jam is leisure, bro.
I don't.
But
not
nah,
everybody.
traffic
100% of the people on there wasn't.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Oh, I didn't need an earpiece for that.
He said he didn't. What?
So I didn't need an earpiece for that.
So like when we first got started, like when the pandemic like really broke and they put us all like under quarantine, I went to the store. It was mayhem. Like everywhere was crazy. But now it seems like things are starting to like slow down. Like what do y'all think about that?
I mean, hopefully it's because everybody has the supplies they need, and now they're practicing social distancing. I haven't been to like Costco in a while, so I don't know what it's like there. I did call Costco this week though, and they were like, "There's a line."
I went to the local international market, and it was normal. Like it was really calm, and that shit kind of spooked me. I was like, "Yo, like, what the hell?"
What does calm mean though?
It wasn't like to see those videos of people fighting and all of that stuff. Like trying to get.
I haven't seen too many videos like that.
Oh, I've seen a few. I've seen 2 old ladies attacking one old lady over toilet tissue. Like things like that. You know what I mean? Things that we don't really want to highlight and give like attention to. But
yeah, I mean, but it's good that it sounds like you're seeing less people in the stores, which is good.
But then, less people in the stores, obviously less people in the streets. So that's pretty dope. Like that economic distancing is like a real thing. It's making way for like the Uber Eats and all of those.
Shout out to Uber Eats and probably I think DoorDash did the same thing, but they
free delivery.
No delivery.
No
delivery fee. So shout out to them for that.
Yo, quick side note. So I was on IG and this chick, she basically it's quick, I promise. So this basically like her hair appointment got canceled. And so they was like, yo, due to COVID-19, like we canceling this. So she was like, yo, send me my deposit. It was like, yo, deposits are non-refundable. So Shorty was like, oh, COVID got you fucked up. You better run me my money. And she was like really like threatening the lady. The lady ultimately sent it back. But it was just funny to me.
I saw the other end of that. I saw somebody who's a business owner who was like, she was doing makeup for people going to prom. And obviously there's no prom.
Oh, damn.
And she was like, y'all got me. And it was literally that, but the other end of it. She was like, y'all got me fucked up.
Oh,
like,
damn.
I said these are non-refundable, and I meant it.
Oh, so she didn't get a bread back?
She was like, I got time today. This is the business owner saying that. Because I guess people were like, hey, there's no prom, so can I get my money back?
Can I get my money back? Nah. Damn.
So,
but so that economic distancing is real. So
I'm curious, though. Like, so I'm thinking about my habits, like in the last week or two, and I feel like I've spent a lot of money online. Like, in terms of buying, like, Peapod to order groceries. Getting like fresh meat sent to me, like so.
Whoa, nah, I'm just kidding.
Nah, like
that meat ain't fresh.
Nah, it is Butcher Box. It's good.
Yeah,
it's really good.
I was just trying to be funny.
Oh no, okay.
Nah, it is. But it's like there's so many options popping up.
Right.
Like where you can like buy stuff online that you traditionally would get in person, and I'm actually curious to see what that transition looks like in terms of like whether or not nobody's spending money, because I don't think that's the case.
I think people are spending money less.
I don't think that. I think that's what
less,
I think that's what the economic distancing is like people are spending less money. Like there was like a huge boom going into.
But my point is, I think people are spending money a different type of way. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yes, I agree. Like I think everything's gonna move online eventually. Like I think people are not gonna have to go to the stores.
It's like low key, like really setting us up to get to that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the local restaurants and stuff, they're saying like they're doing like not dine in, but like pickup. Yeah, just pickup. So all of those apps that we named, Peapod, Uber Eats, all of those stuff.
Yeah,
like
and I say this, I'm not somebody who tips when I do Uber Eats, but I tip now.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
I never did it before because I'm always like, you're charging me a delivery fee.
Right.
If I don't get charged one, I'll tip you, but otherwise not. But now I'm definitely supporting them, tipping them. You know what I'm saying? Because we got to support. The restaurant industry is the backbone of the U.S. economy. The way they say manufacturing used to be the backbone, like back in the day, that today is restaurants. Like most people work in like a service industry like that,
right?
In some capacity.
Right.
So this is they're predicting 5 to 7 million jobs lost. $250 billion lost in revenue for the restaurant industry. This is gonna be crazy.
I actually know I have some friends that are like having those scenarios happen, like where their job is telling them that we're gonna have to give you like not even like a severance, like we're just gonna have to lay you off.
I don't know if that's gonna last forever though, and I think like a piece of me feels like that's a bit of panic.
Yeah.
Right. Jobs feeling like like we have to cut you off until May, so we just want to lay you off until we rehire you again in June or July.
Yeah,
I mean it's more than panic though. Like it costs money to pay.
Yeah,
people.
they can't
they
really
don't have
pay
the bread.
people. But another point, like to your point, but just like expounding on it, overreacting, like going to buy guns. I went to the gun store the other day.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? And I was just trying to cop like a 9. You know what I mean?
Why were you trying to do that?
Yo, in the event of like like not even anarchy, but just chaos. You know what I mean? Like because this is how I look at it. In 2 weeks, right? If most Americans live check to check, in 2 weeks, you ain't gonna have your check. You can't pay no bills. You gonna have to get it. Yeah. Now, if you try to come here trying to get it, like I can only fight for so long. So that's what I was saying. Like,
but let's get back to like the economic impact. We don't want to lose that.
Yeah.
So right now in DC, it looks like DC is weathering the storm.
Yeah, they're doing
better
well.
than some other places.
Right.
The shutdown kind of prepared them for this kind of situation.
Definitely.
Since they felt the shutdown more so than other places.
Yeah, just last year, everybody was home. Like all government workers were home.
Government workers, yep.
Right. Mm-hmm. So shout out to DC for having the infrastructure to respond to that. They it looks like they had 10,000 claims this week in terms of unemployment and everything,
which was on par to last year.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
and it's taking a shorter time for them to receive that check. So, which would kind of like help out with the people who lost their jobs. So you ain't got to put a bullet in nobody, man.
True. Not me. I'm just saying I would never have to. I would never do it. Only if I have to.
That's another conversation for another day.
Yeah.
We gonna have to really have that right to bear arms topic because I think that like fundamentally we disagree.
I think we do disagree.
Yeah. But we won't take people down that rabbit hole or whatnot.
Yeah, and now they're talking about sending everybody a check.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that. I think the details are still being hampered.
Right, because like I saw a bunch of different things. Like if you made under 100K, 120K, then you can get up to
multiple
6,000.
proposals. Yeah.
But then I seen something. Yeah, multiple proposals. Exactly. Like the last thing that I saw was if you make under 75, then you get a $1,200 stipend.
Yeah, I think that's the Republican plan right now.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I've seen more ambitious proposals, like 6,000 per up to 6,000. So, I mean, I think like a lot of economists think you got to go big the first time around. Like, what was it, 1,200?
Yeah, 1,200.
Like
a
lot
of
people,
doing nothing.
That's not doing anything. I mean, like I'm thinking personally, like 1,200 in theory sounds good.
Nah, but it's not even rent in DC.
What is it?
It's not even.
What is that for?
Right.
Like, what is that doing for me if I have no job?
All that's doing is teasing people.
If I have no job, if I have, if I was impacted severely by this,
right.
They were talking about this lady. She got coronavirus and her insurance dealt with it. Her bill from the insurance company was like $35,000.
What?
$35,000. That's a whole nother like issue in this country. Why are you charging somebody for that?
Yeah, nah.
So that's where we are though. Shout out to DC. I hope people take this a little bit more seriously in DC.
Yeah,
I don't know if people get it. But relative to some other places, DC is doing a pretty decent job.
Yeah, word.
Stay home.
So, but what's been the education angle like in terms of how DC's handling?
A lot of lies at first.
Like everybody's home. Like right now, DCPS is home until April 27th. They have the lunches and stuff going out every day. I know specifically in PG County from 11 to 1 o'clock, you can get a lunch, a snack, and one is like a fruit or something. I have to double check that. But like, I think a lot of teachers are getting nervous in DCPS because testing now is attached to income in some cases, where if your kids score higher on the park exams, they have, I know in New York State, they call them regents.
Regents.
The regents, to like bring a little familiarity.
Yeah, that sure did bring me back.
So if you score as a like you have regents in like elementary school, middle school, high school. Like you've been taking like the end of the year reading math. So in DC they call them Park.
Yeah.
In Maryland they call them Park as well.
Right.
So if you are a teacher and your kids perform high on Park, you receive a bonus.
Oh.
So if there's no Park, there's no bonus.
Yeah.
And in some cases that
and that bonus gets up there.
That bonus gets up there, like from
15.
20 grand, 10 grand, like that could put you in another tax bracket potentially.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that check is taxed, you know what I'm saying, on whatever. But like that's
still pretty good.
It's still a nice check though. You know, so I think that is kind of like if they shut down school the rest of the year,
Right.
like what happens with that?
Which I saw that like at first, and I'm happy that we like had our meeting and said like, nah, that shit was fake, because I would have came on here like promoting that, like, yo, they shut down school, but that's not true.
That's not true. It's not true. Even with like the even more so like teachers who feel like, yo, I need another 2 months.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like half of March is gone and half of April is gone.
Bro, the whole school year is gone.
You
I know
what
it's
I'm
not
saying?
official.
So it's not official. It's not
The
official.
whole school year is
but like
gone.
as a
It's
teacher,
not.
you feel like, yo, I lost a month of preparation.
Right. But I think that it's important to give those students hope, or at least tell them that, so that no one gets caught slipping. Like I'm thinking about it from like I'm thinking about like as a kid, if I was a kid and I was told, yo, you done for the school year, versus yo, you'll be back April. If I was told, yo, you'll be back April, at least I'd be like, let me do what I gotta do so that when we come back, I'll be good to go. Versus, yo, we done for the school
You giving kids way too much credit.
Way too much credit.
Word?
I don't think many kids are doing much of anything. Like I don't think they're doing jack. Have you seen like, I don't want to get crazy, but you seen the memes of like of parents talking like, yo, like I had to tell Joey sit down 6 times. Like I don't know how the heck a teacher is doing this at school. Like I had to, like he went to the bathroom 4 times, wouldn't sit down twice. You know, asked for lunch. He's eating all this. Not like how is a teacher dealing with this kid for 8 hours at a time?
Yeah.
Like it's getting crazy.
Yeah.
Like
So
parents, like yo, I'm shooting 1 for 5 right now. Like I got 5 kids here. One of them is doing what they're supposed to.
Damn.
Yeah. I saw this one where this mom, she was like, yo, like you just exposed me. Like my kid is gonna realize I'm not smart. Like, okay.
That's
Like yo,
Basic
and-
math. I would struggle with that too. So I get
Yo,
it.
and although like parents are sending, not parents, although teachers are sending home like these packets, like
Yeah,
yo,
yeah.
look at this work, like somebody got to teach that.
Hell yeah.
Like just because you got it there, don't mean you know how to do it.
Right. And
Like-
they teaching this new math where you like count boxes.
There's a new
That
method.
weird
yeah.
math. Yo, that math is weird, bro. Remember I was
Yeah.
in one of your classrooms and I showed that math? I'm like, what type of math is this? So then
like,
if I'm this age and a parent is older, they gotta have the same
Bruh.
math that I had.
So we in agreement that most parents are gonna look at it and they be like,
Flabbergasted.
yeah, like go play some video games.
Yeah.
Give
word.
a take on the age group of the kid, right? Like if that kid's in middle school, parent has no clue how to do the
Yeah,
homework.
and then you gotta be safe too, because then once you get back mad homework and shit like that,
Yeah,
that stuff could be potentially contaminated. Like not even trying to, you know what I mean? So
I hope not. You
No,
know what I mean?
I'm
I
just
hope
saying,
not. To
bro.
What's
take
your
that
role?
far.
But what's your role in making sure that parents do keep to the curriculum and are doing the work with their kids? Do you
Parents have
any
my
role?
email. Parents have my email. You know, students have my email address.
Holla at me.
I check email. I check my email every day. You
yo, holla at me,
know what I'm saying? Like,
holla at
if
me.
there's a
I'm
thing,
here. I'm out here.
any kid needs help, you know what I mean? Just give me a call. Shoot me an
Yo,
email.
I'm dead.
And I'm
Is
more
it-
than
is
happy
there
to
any-
work
Is there
with
any
you.
proactive shit that you do?
Yo,
are you
nigga
making any
said,
outreach?
holla at me.
He's like, yo, they got my number.
Yo, they got
I'm
my
available.
email. Yo,
like,
just hit me
available
up.
for help.
That is crazy.
Yo, proactive,
Yo.
like, in terms of, like, have something before this happened?
No, but because it sounds like you're worried that, or maybe you're not worried that parents are not gonna be doing any of the work. So, is there anything that you do to make sure that they're engaged, involved, doing all that stuff that they need to do to keep, their kids learning?
I haven't, man.
Nope.
Yo, we good. Yo, so how y'all feeling? Y'all good? We good on this?
Yeah,
I
we
think
good.
we covered a lot. I think we
We
good.
definitely covered a lot.
Ah,
Wrap
man,
up.
that's
Thank
hilarious,
you for joining.
God. But yeah, word. So we just want to. Before we even first thank y'all for joining us. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening to it on Spotify, Google, Apple podcast and everything. We want to say thank you for the continued support. Once again, we want to give out shout out to all of the first responders, the firefighters, the policemen, and then, all the other people that are like working in this time of crisis, the nurses, the doctors, et cetera, et cetera. If you're doing something to help with this pandemic, we want to thank y'all.
And we also want to thank, even if you're not a first responder, if you're staying home.
Oh yeah, if you an Uber driver too, thank you. If you staying in the crib because
you're
you're supposed
Uber driver too.
Thank you. Nah, bro, not Uber driver, but like Uber Eats drivers. We just got the food.
Facts.
You know we trying to wrap it because we want to eat the food.
Facts.
Like, come on, son. Yeah,
That's
why I'm stuttering.
Yeah,
I'm stuttering because I'm like, yo, I'm hungry, bro. Like, we've been here for a while.
That's a fact.
But but yeah, make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. If you're listening to it on those podcast directories, thank y'all. Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at The Pod With No Name. New name coming soon. Be aware for the rebrand. We are changing the name. If y'all like the name, let us know. You know what I mean? It all depends. I gotta say it. I got Jessica.
He was like, wait. He's like, I committed too much to that.
Somebody was like, yo, that name cool. Y'all unique. But you know what I mean? It don't matter.
That sounds like Tully in a different voice.
And make sure to join us for the next episode, Quarantine and Chill. So we're going to have that set up. We're going to try to do it live. I tried to do the live today. It was stumbling and fumbling around. It is what it is. But on that note, my name is Tully. And I'm here with my brother. We getting it right. Yeah.
Z's.
Again, my brother.
Isaiah.
And my other brother.
PJ. We gonna get that right.
We gonna get it right. But we are The Pod With No Name. Thank y'all for rocking with us, and we are out. Please be safe, everybody. Be safe. Stay home. Don't leave.